Hi, my name's Starsky. Happy Christmas and welcome to From the Studio on Clubbing TV. And it looks like I'm going to be doing my second Christmas episode because my big present has arrived early, and because I'm not really going to be leaving the house, it seems, over the Christmas period, I thought I'd treat myself to an early unboxing. So today I'm going to be looking at the quite marvellous Modal Electronics Cobalt 8. And I have to say, it looks very sexy indeed. I love this sort of matte metallic finish it's got, and this is a really nice sort of, well, I suppose it's a cobalt blue, isn't it? And the screen is really nice and bright, as are these LEDs. I've turned them down a bit because it's a bit dark in here, so I'm getting a bit dazzled by them, but you can turn them down. Anyway, I hear you cry, what's so exciting about another virtual analog synth? I've already demoed the Roland's System 8 and the Jupiter XM recently, and things like the Nord leads and the Access Virus range have been out for years. So what's with someone bringing out a new virtual analog at the end of 2020? What's so special about this? What exactly is it? Modal described this as an extended virtual analog, and that's what it says across the top here. And that's because of the way the oscillator works. If I just show you that sort of briefly, if we start off on an initial patch and look at the waveform, we can see we've got sine. And that morphs through to a triangle. And then that's a sawtooth. To a square. So they're your standard wave shapes that you get on every analog synth and that you get on every virtual analog. But this takes things to a whole new level. We've got what they call 34 different algorithms in here, and these are essentially starting points for your oscillator. So when we say this is an oscillator, we've got two here, got one with these three knobs, one with those three knobs, and a blend between them with this one here. But when I say oscillator, it's a little bit more complex than that. What we've got is different wave shaping abilities. We've got things like ring mod, we've got things like sync, things that require more than one oscillator. So this is effectively taking what you could do with two, maybe three or four oscillators, and then giving you the output of that without you having to mess around setting up the ring mod or setting up the sync. And I'll show you what I mean. We'll go to a standard sawtooth, and then we'll go to the next parameter. So this one's wave shape on this, and this one creates basically what sounds like two different oscillators slightly detuned. And then we've got two oscillators definitely tuned to a pitch. So although that's a single oscillator, it's making sounds that you'd need more than one oscillator to make using sort of traditional synth methods. So we've got other things in here, like, let's have a look for something else. Dual PWM. So definitely sounds like more than one oscillator, doesn't it? Then let's try something with sync. Again, you need two oscillators normally to do that. Then maybe go over to something like, what else have we got? We've got ring mod in here. Here we got some wave folding. So I think that brings us to the end of the oscillators. Let's take a look at what other functions we've got in here. It's got a pretty flexible synth engine. It's got 3 LFOs, it's got 3 envelopes and 8 separate modulation routines, as well as the 4 sort of standards that you'd normally get, things like velocity, aftertouch, note and expression pedal. And it's also got this nice little joystick that you can modulate all sorts of things with as well. So there's a fair amount of modulation in here, and almost everything you need is accessible from the front panel. We've got secondary functions that you can see in light blue. blue, and they're accessed by pressing the shift. And everything's quite flexible in here as well. The envelopes have got different types. For example, you've got exponential, snappy, soft, linear, exponential long, snappy long, soft long, linear long. And the third envelope, the modulation envelope, can be routed to, I think it's like 55 different things via the modulation matrix, which is down here. And the destination can be one of all these things. So there's 55 different destinations, including all of the effects. And that brings us nicely onto the effects. We've got 3 effect slots, 1, 2, and 3. And here we adjust the level. And then on these 3, we adjust the various parameters. So let's put a delay on effect 1 and see what we get. So we go to phaser, flanger, tremolo. There we go, stereo delay. And that reminds me, it's got a chord memory on it. I do like a good chord memory. It does make making these demos a lot easier. I don't have to worry about my playing so much. Anyway, let's move on to the filter. So this has got quite a few modes on it. We've got this morph function here, which changes it from a low pass to a band pass. It's got a really nice sound to it, hasn't it? And then from a 4-pole band pass to a 1-pole low pass. Got a balanced low pass and a resonant low pass. We've got a balanced high pass. And then we've got this really interesting one, which is called a balanced phase. Like a W shape. And that may well now be my favourite shape. It's really nice, that. I do like that. Let's take a look at a couple of other functions then. Now they've got the arpeggiator and the sequencer. The arpeggiator's got all the bits you'd expect if you turn it on. It's got forwards, backwards, it goes up to 4 octaves. But what's really nice on this is the sequencer. So if we go into record mode, let's do something over 2 bars and we'll do it in real time. So it's really that simple. It's up to 512 notes. So I could play on top of that as well if I wanted. So you can see that it's polyphonic. And I started playing halfway through the bar, which isn't ideal, but you get the gist. Let's try a track of motion then, shall we? So it's quite a flexible little sequence. You can do other things as well in there, like swing and change the gate length and all other little bits and bobs. I haven't got time to go into now, but let's try and create a sound. Let's just put all that together, shall we? So let's initialize a patch. Go to a sawtooth. Add a second oscillator. It's quite nice. Maybe add a little bit of LFO to the cutoff. So LFO 1. We assign it to the cutoff. Then let's just drop that a little bit more, and then let's add an effect, shall we? So go to effects. What have we got here? Let's look at lo-fi. Should we try lo-fi? So it's reducing the bit rate, is that, or the bit depth, and bit crusher. That's cool. Let's add a delay to that as well, shall we? Go into here. So it's really easy to do nice stuff. It's just quite simple. Let's try and do something with one of the sort of more crazy oscillators, shall we then? That's nice. Let's try and modulate that. What was that? That was the sync with LFO2. So go to LFO2. There we go. Yeah, it's great, that, isn't it? So all in all, I've got quite a lot to look at here. Something to keep me going over Christmas. But should it be on your Christmas list? Well, I've only just started looking at this, so I've been fumbling around a little for the last couple of hours, and I've only just scratched the surface. But even playing with it for those couple of hours, I've been impressed by the way it handles sound design. And that thing I just made there, you saw how easy it was just to start making something a little bit crazy. And it's great because it sort of leads me to do different sorts of things. That's what I found anyway. And different starting points create different tones, which take you in different directions. And if you're not into sound design though, the presets on this are really pretty good. I'm not really into presets myself. I'm not a big fan of presets in general, but there are 300 decent ones in here with room for you to add another 200 of your own. So I think you can overwrite all of them. You can write 500 new ones if you want. It'll also have an app you can use. There's already one for the Argon 8 that works as a standalone editor or within your DAW, and on iOS and Android devices. It's not quite ready yet for the Cobalt, but it might be by the time this episode comes out. But I believe it's imminent. And an editor is always useful to be able to work out exactly what's going on. If you find a sound you like and you want to tweak it, it's really difficult with any keyboard to work out what you're doing unless you have it in an app. So it's brilliant that they offer them, and that range of them all for free. So it's a great little package and an interesting approach that sounds great, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So it's well worth checking out if you do get a chance. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, you can catch it again on our Clubbing TV official YouTube channel on the From the Studio playlist. And if you've any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll see what I can do to answer them, but give me time to learn how this works properly. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel as well, Starsky Carr on YouTube, for more in-depth demos, reviews and walkthroughs. So have a great Christmas, and I'll see you in the next episode of From the Studio.